of speech is preposition. So before we read the definition, I have an example for you all. I have a book and I have a table. So now, if you have to tell that where your book is, how will you tell? Yes, you'll tell the book is on the table. If you forget to use the word on, and if you just tell the book, the table, what will you understand? We'll not get to know what you're trying to tell. So the word on tells the relationship between the book and the table. Understood? So here the word preposition is a word which explains us about the relation between nouns, pronouns with other words. Clear? So let's read the definition. What is a preposition? A preposition is a word or group of words that shows the relationship of a noun or pronoun to some other word in the sentence. So to make it simpler, it shows the position of the noun along with the other word. Clear? So now remember a word on is, remember these certain words like on, is, in, at, for, to, etc. Remember? Yes. But now, see, when you're using prepositions, you also use certain words like on to, up to, into, right? So there are different types of prepositions. So the very first type of preposition is simple preposition. So the word simple tells that the word is very simple, like in, at, to, for, of, etc. So the definition of this is simple. If when a preposition consists of one word, it is called as single or simple preposition. So where is the book? The book is on the table. Understanding? So now, what do you understand by double preposition? The word double explains us that it is two, right? So double preposition can be defined as a preposition which consists of more than one word, or simpler, it has two words. It's called as double preposition. So what are those prepositional words? Words like into, up to, within, etc. Right? Example, do not cross the boundaries. Other way of telling, stay within the boundaries. Right? So the word within are two words which are combined together. With plus in, within, which will become a double preposition. Clear? Yes. So now we have a compound preposition. So it's very simple. The first one was simple, which is having one word. Second one was double, which has two words. And now the third one tells us compound. Don't get confused. Compound in the sense, the preposition which has more than two words. That is simpler, it has three words. Such as in front of, from, across, according to, and so on. So, example, there's a post office in front of my house. Clear? Yes. Next we have participle preposition. So I hope you all have studied the INGs, gerunds, right? So the words which are ending with INGs are called as participle prepositions. For example, regarding, considering, concerning. So if you have to take a leave, what will be your main sentence? What is the reason for the leave? I'm taking this leave regarding what? Whatever reason you have, right? Regarding to, as I'm going out of station, or whatever it is. So participle prepositions are prepositional words which are ending with ing. Clear? Yes. So next we have disguised prepositions. Disguised prepositions in the sense where one prepositional word can be changed to other. For example, buy can be changed into be, right? Here, whenever you tell the timings, so if I ask what's the time now, you'll tell it's 9 o'clock. So why do you think this O has come, and where has this O come from? There's a confusion, right? Still we get confused. Let's clear that confusion. This O is a disguised preposition, which means it has been changed. The preposition on and prepositions such as into and a has been changed into O. That is why we tell time as 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Clear? Yes. Next, last one. It's the phrase preposition. So I hope you are clear with what are phrases. Phrases are incomplete sentences which do not give complete sense. Right. So here, what do you understand by phrase preposition? Yes, it's simple. A phrase which consists of a preposition is called as phrase preposition. And which are the words which can be a phrase preposition? Words such as by means of, owing to, etc. Clear? Yes. The next part of speech is conjunctions. So, what do you understand by the word junction? Yes, where certain things will be meeting. But the word conjunction means there is one word which will make two sentences to meet with each other. In history, example, in history we have long answers, right? And the way of learning is pointers. Now, if you have to represent that answer in a form of paragraph, you need to use certain linkers like and, therefore, because, right? These words are called as conjunctions. So, what will be the explanation or definition can be as? It is a word which connects two words or clauses or sentences. So, what do you understand by the word clause? Yes, clause is a statement which consists of a subject, predicate or a verb. So it's very clear, right? Subject is a thing and predicate is what we speak about that thing. Clear? So in conjunctions we learn that these are the words which will connect two words. It can either connect two words, it can also connect two clauses, or it can also connect any two sentences. So here we have three types of conjunctions. We have three types of conjunctions. They are coordinating, subcoordinating and correlative conjunctions. So now what do you understand by coordinating? Yes, the coordinating conjunctions are the words which are used to join two statements which are of equal importance. And moreover, coordinating conjunctions are also called as coordinators. See, every word has 2-3 meanings, right? Don't get confused with coordinators in other terms and in terms of grammar. So here, coordinating conjunctions are called as coordinators. And these coordinators coordinate in the sense they connect or they join two or more sentences or clauses. Clear? And always be clear with the word fanboys. Fanboy stands for, F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet and S for so. We'll be learning more about this in our further classes.